Okay, this is the Tarot Q&A number 23. And, okay, Facebook. I'll see what, I read some comments that people left, or read the comments that people left, and I'll see what I can do about live streaming on Facebook. Not tomorrow, but I'll let you know when I'm able to do it. Okay, so today, somebody in Europe did a past, present, future, yes, no spread. And she gave the answer as yes, but the answer turned out to be no. And I'd like to discuss what do you do? How do you react when you say this is going to happen and it doesn't? Or you say this is not going to happen and it does? So the question had to do with somebody who was going to go to a new school. And they wanted to know if the best friend was going to be able to go to the same school. So the reader did three cards, past, present, and future. And all three cards are upright. And because in a yes-no spread, an upright card means yes, she figured that the three cards, all of them being upright, even though it was a past, present, and future, that the answer was yes, and the friend was going to make it to the new school, but the friend didn't make it into the new school. So was the tarot wrong? In what way? What was going on? And this is the kind of thing that probably happens to everybody more than once, and it can make you lack confidence in your ability or in the tarot itself. So I think it's worth looking at and see if we can figure out what's going on. So the three cards were, in the past, I'm just going to hold them up rather than use the program to show you. So the first card was the Three of Swords. This was for the past. And this looks like sorrow and heartache. So this, because the question was, is the friend going to make it to the new school? Maybe in the past there was doubt, or the friend had been given bad news or had been told it's not going to work. In the present you've got, or the card that came up was the Two of Pentacles. So it's up and down. So maybe the disappointment of the Three of Swords has been replaced by the glimmer of hope, maybe. Because you've got maybe yes, maybe no. The other thing that, because it's Pentacles, maybe the parents or the questioner, the friend was thinking about what it's going to cost. But they figured that because the card is upright, they can afford it. And then the third card was the Ten of Batons, upright, which shows this person trudging ahead. They can't see where they're going. They can't see the outcome or the destination, but they're going to keep going anyway. So I think it's one thing to do a past, present, and future. So let me talk about that. I think with a past, present, future, you have to look at it, and it's not and make sense of it. So in the past, you've got disappointment and sorrow. In the present, you've got trying to juggle, or not juggle, but maybe not sure, or you've got two possibilities. So maybe this school or another school. So the person going into the future, not being able to see the final outcome, I know the answer was no. So it's easy to start making things so that you know that the answer is no. But I was thinking, if the first card had been the Sun, and the second card had been Judgment, and the third card is the Ten of Batons, we have to, or if we understand what was going on in the past, what the person felt like or was expecting or was going through, what condition they were experiencing, and then what's going on in the present, then you've got a better, then it's up to the reader to judge what the future, how the person is going to deal with the future situation. So if you'd got the Sun in the past, the Judgment in the present, you're confident. And so the future represented by not quite sure where you're going, you would approach that. You would go into a doubtful situation with confidence and with optimism. So the answer, let's say, would be yes. Or even if there were barriers, you would overcome the barriers because you've got the sun in the past for confidence and judgment for renewal in the present. But the fact that we got sorrow and disappointment, which might make you lack confidence, and because we've got pentacles in the present and it's a 2 and 2 is up and down, maybe that's why the 10 of batons, even though 10 is 1 plus nothing, is a new beginning, what you get is not stuck in the past, but more not sure or not clear about what the final outcome is. So that's one way of looking at a past, present, and future spread. And I think the other thing is when people sometimes just want to know yes or no, and then you can give them details. So I think if you want a yes/no answer, pick 3 cards and do yes/no spread. But otherwise, past, present, future is a different kind of spread. It's giving you different information. And I don't think it's a good idea to try and, you know what I mean, in a past, present, future spread, if the card is upright, it means yes. Somehow it's a bit of a stretch. I think with past, present, and future, you have to look at the cards themselves and figure out what the story is. And put yourself in the position of the cards themselves and the story they're telling, and then use your own judgment to decide whether it's a yes or a no. But the other thing is, if you reading cards, if you talk to the questioner and you say, well, the 3 of Swords is sorrow and disappointment, the questioner knows the person. In this case, the questioner knew the person who was being asked about. So when you say, in the past there was disappointment, that's going to remind the questioner of something that the other person said or did, or their habitual behavior. And then you say, and now in the present we've got the 2 of Pentacles up and down about money. They will say, yeah, because the parent said this, or the bank manager said this. So if you describe the condition with the 3 of Swords and then the 2 of Pentacles, the question is going to be able to make more sense of it than you can, because they know the details of the life of the person they're asking about better than you do. And so you get the 10 of batons. And I think what we have to do is trust the tarot. And the 10 shows, yes, we want to be optimistic and give the person the answer they want because they want the friend to go there. But I think you have to look at it and say, the picture shows somebody plodding, but they don't see where they're going. And so leave it like that. Rather than give them a yes or a no, give them a story and give them some details so that they can make sense of it for themselves. So what's the answer? Maybe the answer is, and you, the reader, are not saying yes or no, and the questioner accepts that and can understand why you're not saying yes or no. The other thing is, sometimes what you do is you just pick 3 cards at random, and in the light of what they show, it's a bit like these are the 3 influences that the questioner's friend is going to have to deal with when it comes to going to the new school. So influence number 1 is the 3 of Swords, disappointment. Maybe they're not happy with schooling, or they've heard bad things about the new school, or they're thinking, I'm going to go there and not be able to make friends. There's going to be sorrow and disappointment. Pentacles is money, but it's also, so maybe it's the cost is making them wonder. And the other thing is Pentacles is values. So it may be that in the new school you've got to do sports and you hate sports, or in the new school you want to study computer science or computers and you only get 1 hour a week. So your values, what you care about, is what you care about, but what the school is offering or providing isn't quite what you want. And then the 10 of batons is at the third factor, or a third factor. And here you've got, do you plod on and keep your fingers crossed, or Does it make more sense to go someplace if your education's important to you and you've got particular subjects you want to study, does it make more sense to go to a school where you can get satisfaction? So that's one way of looking at those cards. So, but for the question, for the reader, why did it go wrong? Maybe because when things like that happen, when things go wrong and you give an answer that's not the right one, sometimes the person, it's just the person wasn't supposed to get the right answer because, for some reason, because they would, if you told them no, or if you told them no, they'd have been so upset, it would have taken them a month to get their equilibrium back. So, you don't tell them no. But it can also be a lesson for the reader to, if something like that happens, look at your methods and your procedures and your practices and how you go about answering things. So maybe in this case, spend a little bit more time thinking about the question itself and how you're going to answer it, or the best way that it can be answered. And what kind of information you want from the cards that come up, no matter what the format is, past, present, future, yes, no, or Celtic cross or whatever. Okay, I've run out of things to say, so I'm going to stop. So I'll see you in a bit. Ideally not as long to the next one as it was from the last one, but such is life. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.